What's up, everybody, and welcome to the live match reaction from the Crystal Palace and Arsenal match that just happened from Selhurst Park. Unfortunately, it was a defeat for Crystal Palace, 1-0 after a hard-fought match that saw Arsenal get a penalty to go up one and actually get a red card to go down to 10 men, but Arsenal was able to be held on, was able to hold on for the victory. I'm your host for today, T, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues, Patrick and Stan. Fellas, what's going on, man? How you guys doing?
I'm
Patrick, how
good,
you
man.
doing?
How are you? I'm good. I'm not happy about the loss, but I'm good.
I'm
Right
good. I'm
on.
good.
Right on. Well, before we get started, everybody, I want you to all remember soon we're going to be opening up the lines for you all to be able to hop in and have your say with us. But before we get started, I want to say and remind you all, first of all, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it, especially you all taking the time out to join with us live. Means a lot to us. We also want to champion you all to like, comment, and subscribe with our channel. It means a lot to the algorithm, means a lot to us. We love interacting with you all every single time we get on here live, whether it's match reaction or things like Palace News. So feel free, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe below. So, gentlemen, just give me your initial thoughts on the match and how things played out. Patrick, I'll start with you, man.
So initially, I thought that the first, 20 minutes or so, we gave up more possession than we needed to. I totally get that Arsenal are a very good team, but I think the stats were 90% possession for us, 81% for Arsenal. But
Mm-hmm.
again, you have to respect them. But I think we showed them too much respect. That low block, I get it. I mean, Roy's a defensive coach, and again, we kept them clean sheet for the first whatever 70 minutes or so before that 54 minutes before Odegaard scored the penalty. I
Mm-hmm.
thought we just didn't have enough outlets going forward. I thought Edward did a really good job first half, especially holding the
Mm-hmm.
ball up. Ayew was the only outlet. Schlupp statistically he actually didn't do poorly, Schlupp, but he wasn't up for it. Eze for me was very quiet today. Needs to do more. I get it. He's the only outlet, so it's a lot of pressure. It's like the Zaha effect, but until we get Elise back or France, he needs to do more. Um, I thought Lerma and Decore were very good together.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Gay Anderson did a great job on Nketiah. I thought Ward did an excellent job. Give him credit today. Ward did a great job. Martinelli. Martinelli was very quiet, and Mitchell on Saka was excellent today. Listen, got to give
Yeah,
Mitchell
yeah.
credit. Gone him in the past about not playing well. And finally, out Johnston. I thought he played really well, except for that one. He made the biggest mistake of the match, but actually played well. But that mistake was very, very costly. I get it.
And
We switched off, and it was a bad penalty to give away, but it was tough.
yeah, and I mean, I feel like him being put into that situation, like that's not an easy situation for the goalkeeper to be put into in that situation. Like,
Oh, I agree. It's just that it's
yeah,
tough that again he actually played really, really well, made
he
great
really
saves,
did.
was very
He really
commanding. I
did.
mean, to give it that penalty like that is it's a shame, but I mean you have to call it what it is. It wasn't a good penalty to
I
give up, but
felt
it
bad
wasn't
for
really him that
him.
fell asleep.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, I felt bad for him because he was excellent coming for crosses, two excellent saves as well. So yeah, I felt bad for him, man.
yeah. So Stan, your thoughts just on the progression of the match, what you saw from both sides, and the eventual outcome.
So despite winding up Patrick in the group chat a little bit, I agree with some of the honestly, I switched it on and like the first 8 minutes, they were popping us around. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, I was like, oh my god, like this is. But we grew into it. You know, we just lacked that cutting edge a little bit today. I think we lacked that little bit of quality, that
Mhm.
little bit of creativity. And I think that listen, like they didn't have like I know Nketiah hit the post. His finishing is terrible. How's that geezer 100 grand a week? Like and trust
Because
me,
he's at a
like
top six club.
the fella's got chances galore as well because like they're putting him on a plate for him. You know, he plays for Arsenal, right? They create a lot of chances, right? And the
yeah, I
two
was
he
actually
missed,
telling T before we started. Stan, sorry, was that what I'll say about him, he really does a great. His movement is excellent. His finishing
superb,
is
yeah,
absolutely
yeah, yeah.
terrible, which is why I don't want to sign him. His movement is great. I mean, he gets in positions all the time, but I just would never sign it because he can't finish. But sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I think to sum it up, we huffed and we puffed, like we did against them last year, and we lacked cutting edge. We lacked some height up front today. I'm not saying Mateta would have been the saving grace, but if you're going to be putting high balls into the area and they've got 10 men and they've got 9 of them behind the ball, you need a bit of height up there, and I think we missed that today. Their penalty, I felt bad for Sam Johnson. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here, but. You know what? Partey, I'll give you this. He pulled back Lerma, and he was apparently offside when that ball was played. So it's questionable whether that should have been given. I thought Eze was a stonewall pen. I'll be honest, if he hadn't given that soft red card, they'd have probably given us that pen. I think he should have got it anyway. He struggled to get in the game, Ebbs did today, but he did come up with 1 or 2 moments where you're like, okay, cool, like, typical Eze. I will say, are you good? Edouard was good, but he was just frustrated because he had no service. CM's excellent. Mitchell, Ward, excellent. You know what I will say? I got a shout out to Jezrin and to Nairu Ahamada. Those guys, they come in. You know what? Don't send that kid out on loan. Play him. I beg you, play him. Because he's got something. Did you see his link-up play? And a friend of mine plays for Fleetwood Town, and he played against him for Charlton last season. And he said he's miles too good for League One, ripped him to shreds, whatever. Like, I saw him today. Please, God, don't send that kid out on loan. Play him.
So 2 things about that, Stan. I agree. 100%. I need to see Backsack and Hammer get on the pitch a lot more. I agree that they both played. I thought they both get a little spot. People talk about before the game. Leave that comment up for a second there, T. Talked about before the game about we didn't have any. Our bench was poor, but again, when you have young kids, let them play. So Dem One, thanks again for joining the show. Very surprised with Roy Sars, more positive than usual. Need a real striker. Eddie is poor in the air and so unsure off the pitch. Getting back to the subs, I thought the subs were positive, but honestly, it should have been about 5 minutes earlier. Once you're up a man at home,
I do agree.
You gotta be more aggressive. So
shortly after we should have been bringing somebody on when they did. When Gabriel came on, we should have been having guys coming on too.
Right.
Because then you're talking about the 80% possession with more aggressive players out there too.
Right. Because at one point they had 8 defensive players on the pitch and just Havertz, towards the end. And that's when, we needed to be more aggressive. And the last thing I'll say is I agree with that. The penalty, I thought, Thunder Road, everything looks worse in slow motion. Not a clear pen with Partey on Eze. On the other end, it was a standard pick play that freed and catch on a quick restart. And that's my point. It's great. So for me, and it doesn't work that way, if you're going to give that penalty for Arsenal, because it was clearly a pick, you got to give Palace that penalty. And on comms in America was Andros Tanzon. Yes, he's more pro Palace. He said it was a penalty. Before it went to VAR, he said it's a penalty. Because Partey clearly was right. Partey clearly clipped him. But
and the thing about
it was offside as well when the ball was played. That's the
thing that
Michael Owen highlighted that in the post show.
Because they say, everything looks worse. Everything looks worse in slow motion. It looked like a pin in regular motion too.
Believe what you want of Michael Owen, because you don't get a lot right. You don't talk a lot of sense, but
the thing is, if it looks like a penalty in regular motion, it looks like a penalty in slow motion, it might be a penalty. But I was saying to Patrick before we started, it reminds me of the mindset of boxing, where if you're going to beat these top sides, you have to do it convincingly, because we're not going to get the referee assistance that they would.
50-50 call.
Because if that same play that happens to Eze is one of their guys, I believe.
Oh, it's a penalty.
They get a pen 9 times out of 10.
That's going to be
10 times out of 10.
Because that one, I think that one that we just didn't get was more egregious than the one that Jota got against us last year. With was it White? I believe it was White.
Do you reckon if Salah goes over, he don't get that pen?
Right, I think it was 2 years ago, right? On
2 years ago.
Guaita. But that's a great point. That's exactly. I've seen so many softer penalties given, against us. And so, again, my only thing is I don't think the referee was biased either way. I don't think that referee is very good, because I don't think Tom Ashley was a red.
I think that's what it is. I don't think he's very good, to be honest with you.
I just think,
to me, it's a penalty.
You know what? I just think if you're going to have VAR, be consistent.
Right.
We always say it. If you gave that one, you got to give this one, right?
I think the biggest issue with the consistency of VAR is the fact that you have different people doing it every single game. So there really is no consist. I mean,
There's no
here's the,
consistency, right? Because the people.
I mean, naturally, human error is factored into something that's supposed to prevent human error, but you're just putting more human error into it. Like the point of VAR is to then help with what can be overlooked or not seen in live play. But the problem is you have another human being adding in their bias, what they see and what they feel into something that could then skew something completely. So, I mean, you've got all these different people that run the VAR. So whoever was running the VAR made that call for at that one time might have given us that call if they were running for us today.
I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist lunatic here, but I'm telling you, it's a hierarchy. They're all involved. Dermot Gallagher is on Fubo TV and he's their resident analyst. I think he does it for Sky as well. And he, like, literally every time someone gives a decision, unless it's absolutely blatant, he agrees with the referees. Like, trust me, it's all set up for the bigger teams to benefit. Even though they've brought this in, it's all set up for the bigger teams to benefit. And that is, you know, that is how it is. And what can we do? I do think, listen, we huffed and we puffed. We were against 10 men, and we didn't test their goalie enough. I don't think we had a single shot on target in that time that we were up against 10 men. So, listen, penalty or no penalty, we should have probably been a bit more adventurous in, in that. But listen, end of the day, it's Arsenal. You know, no one likes a defeat. But I thought we didn't disgrace ourselves. We did all right. I think there's a lot to work. There's a lot to go forward, you know?
I would agree with you, Stan. We've won up a man with 20 minutes in the match. I would take it a 1-0 loss. Don't get me wrong. I predicted a loss, so I'm not saying, but I'm not gonna say it's a good loss, or I'm not gonna sit here and say, okay, when we were up a man at home, and we should have. I mean, Edward had a chance. Mitchell should have scored. We had chances to score at the end of the game. We should have scored a goal. I'm not. And again, this whole is Arsenal. I'm not. See, that's the mentality I'm not ever gonna buy into. I'm not having it's Arsenal, it's Man City. I'm not doing that because that's why we don't progress. Because for me, Arsenal didn't play that well today. They did not. They didn't like the effort Johnson did. And so for me, we deserved it. We should have gotten the draw. I should think we deserved. We should have gotten the draw. I'm not having that the fact, oh, it's Arsenal. No, because that meant I don't like that. I can't have that mentality because, like I said, just to me, just nah. But again, it's one of those things. We didn't get the point. So
yeah, it's one of those things for me. We talked about a little bit in the run up to the game. It's like we didn't think that we were going to get dominated in the midfield because of who we have in midfield. Right. We didn't get dominated, and then a lot of the talk then shifted to, hey, this game is going to be won on the wings. It's going to be won in the wide areas, and we played really well in the wide areas as far as marking and keeping guys under control, I believe. You know, and it's tough because, like you said, you know, you don't want to chalk it up to losing to Arsenal because of who they are this year in the league or last year in the league and whatnot. We played very well against them. It was just a few incidences that came up that made the difference. This is a very feasible game for us to get points from, for sure. So
you know what I will say is that against lesser teams, we'll get results, we'll pick up points, etc., etc. But if we want to progress as a club or as a team, we need to start. One, we need to sign a couple more players, but we really need to start looking at, you know, like taking these scouts. You know, even like Steve Parish, the chosen one, or he's come out and said there's no point in beating teams like Man City if you can't do it on a consistent basis. Well, hello. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is. I mean, the loss in this match for a lot of people is probably going to be a little bit softened because we were able to take the 3 points in the first week against Sheffield. But me personally, I would have loved for us to pull a point there for sure.
For sure.
Nah, we deserve the point. We should have got a point today.
Yeah. So we just opened up the lines. If you guys did not see in the comments there, we do have the link to join in if you all have interest in stepping on and talking with us, because we love to hear from you all. We're actually going to bring on our first guest here, Chris Chris, what's
Hey.
up, man? How are you?
Hey, doing, Chris.
All right. All good.
What's going on?
Sorry, mate.
Okay.
So, Chris, I saw that you put in there that you thought that the Partey play it wasn't a penalty.
No, I got confused. I thought it was about Partey for his off the ball foul when.
The
yeah.
on Lerma. Yeah,
But I don't
yeah.
think that was enough for a foul. I know if Lamb would have got over in time, but it was frustrating
I agree
because
with that.
there's so
I
many
agree with
times Arsenal did quick free kicks, and we didn't get wise to it. And the only time the one that Ayew gave away, which probably wasn't a free kick anyway, he couldn't stand on the ball because he got the stupid booking, which probably wasn't a booking.
Right.
Mhm.
So it was just I don't know if we were wise to it. I don't know if we were actually going to stop it. But it was apart from that, Arsenal offered so little, and the fact they were trying to time waste straight after they took the lead,
Yep.
even before
Thank
the red card, was a bit of a sign that they knew they needed those
Thank you,
3
Chris.
points.
Exactly.
Yeah, they
But
were looking
the other
hard.
issue with that is that when we're other teams in our position, like say even like an Everton, when they're playing Arsenal, we're 1-0 up with 25 minutes left. They'll probably get a point from that game. Somehow
Do you think Everton would get a point? I don't think they can kick.
Not the best example, but a Brentford or Spurs more around us.
Yeah, Brentford. Yeah, a Brentford maybe. Yeah.
But again, it's like, how are we going to get out mid-table if we can't? We didn't even really, as you said, create anything against them when they had 10.
Thank you, Chris.
So yeah, but it's not all Edouard's fault. It's not all where it's just you can't. That's what gave me actually dying for Mateta. And of course, if we played on Saturday, maybe he was still part of the team because they're still waiting for the deal to go through. But maybe those 2 days made a difference that he's got that other German club after him, apparently.
True.
Right. But does anybody know why he was in the squad? Because here's my question. Normally you name 9 subs. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. Today we only named 8. And if it was now, my point is if it was planned, right, he could have put a third goalie on the bench or another kid. I don't think this was something that they planned or not. You know what I mean? This is weird. I don't know what's going on. I'm just saying. I don't think it's just a matter of him going somewhere. You know what I mean?
And well, you also got to think the kids played 2 days ago, so I don't know how they felt about pulling those younger guys in.
Though, they didn't have to play. Just put them on the bench.
Yeah.
You're right, but they could put them on the bench. You're right. I mean, they didn't have to. Listen,
Roy does weird stuff all the time. Anyway. I mean, we're talking about Roy who would put 2 goalkeepers on the bench before. So
well, I'm saying today would have been fine. Today 2 keepers would have been fine. So that's my only point. But let's see what happens. Let's find out if there's a backstory there. Everybody jumped to the conclusion he's leaving. Maybe he is, but again, it's weird that he wasn't on the bench today. So we'll see.
And also, Cook was embarrassing, but he was embarrassing the ref both ways, really. And I think he was trying to make amends for the softness of penalties to us in the second half because that was a very soft. Both of those were very soft, and I think the first one he got for time wasting was simply that they passed it between 3 players. He was about to take it, but the ball was back here, and he blew up.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, they were saying that it was unfortunate because Tomiyasu got the card that Kai Havertz should have gotten.
Havertz should have gotten.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even the second yellow though was so. I mean, that was soft on him.
You know what's funny though? They can't appeal it.
Yeah, because
by the way, breaking news: Mateta's out because he's injured. So.
Oh, okay.
RB Leipzig, nice try. It's not going like he's injured. Boy just said it on the
interesting. I wanted that to affect his move. Hopefully it won't.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you want him gone? I got you.
I'm just saying, like, I don't have a problem with him staying. I'm just saying, like, we definitely could use funds. But the one thing speaking of him, once again, man, I am not impressed by Kai Havertz whatsoever, man.
Where does he play? What's his position?
He's an 8. Apparently, he's an 8.
Bro, there were times where I just like it was just like he wasn't even out there.
He's quite a tall bloke, because I didn't notice it to one of his corners, but he's quite.
He's just a lanky 6'4" guy that's not doing anything out there.
Yeah, he's bad. But I'd have him over Mateta and Edouard though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably so. I mean, but you pay 4 times as much too.
That's true.
So Chris, just looking at what you saw out of us pre red card and post red card. What do you just feel like was needed out there?
I think someone said in the chat, it's another August written off because we're messing around with the transfers and maybe a loan.
Yep.
I know Lewis Hall was very unfortunate, but I don't know if Lewis Hall would have won the game today. But the fact that we just couldn't unpick that 10-men Arsenal, we had like the ideas of let's put Gahey further forward or Anderson. but then we wouldn't onboard it to them. It might as well be Delaney trying to launch it to Dan or what we used to do in those days. And we didn't even do that. We just like, let's keep going down the flanks and then going back in the centre and then going back down the flanks. And then Mitchell was like trying to do a Will Zaha role of just being on his own on the left and creating or crossing and something to make something happen. Maybe if we had Franco or Elise fit, we had more for Arsenal to worry about, but they couldn't get in the game. And it's difficult to break down teams like that when they're in that mode. But as I said, I don't think Arsenal will be as good as last year, and more worryingly, a few of our rivals might get results against them, especially against 10-men Arsenal.
Yeah, I think it felt like at times, especially once he was able to get on the ball, if the way that Eze had the attention and the pressure on him to create, it felt like the old days with Wilf, where Wilf was like the
Triple man marked.
He was, and he was our main mode of creative.
No. Wait.
But
Sorry,
I
T.
meant more than anything else.
No. I'm cutting Stan off again. We tried that in the chat. He was not triple marked today, Stan. He was not. He was not triple marked. I watched the game.
He wasn't triple marked. He would have three guys looking at him once he got the ball.
Right, but he was not. It wasn't
not it wasn't like touch time, but as soon as he got on the ball, there was at least two on him going, boom, let's go.
Yeah, but I do think it's going to be a much different scenario for us as a club when there's more creative balance on the pitch at the same time. You know, when you can't dedicate three guys to having their eyes on Eze when the ball's at his feet because you've got Michael Elise on the wing and you've got Edouard and things like that. So I would really look forward to how things are going to look for us when we have more creative outlets on the pitch.
Let somebody else talk away. But thanks for having me on. And thanks for the show.
Wait,
absolutely, Chris.
Before you leave, Chris. Last year, Everton at home, Everton won, Arsenal 0. Dyche's first game. I'm just saying.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm too scared to look. But what is Edouard's and Mateta's goals per minute now? I'm just too afraid to it because it's going to get near Benteke levels, isn't it?
I think it's probably worse. Benteke had 18 in one season once.
I don't want to look. I'll leave it to you lot.
Might have to ruin your night even more. All right, Chris. Thanks, man. Appreciate you joining us, bud.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, man.
Buddy.
All right.
Yeah, so this is actually a really good point here. I just want to keep this up that Geika said. Putting on 8 players on the bench is a good way to make a point to Dougie and Steve Parrish that we badly need. And this is something that in Roy's first tenure with us, he would do. Like I said, when he would put 2 goalkeepers on the bench for us. And then Vieira did it a little bit too.
He did.
Right. But I will say that Hughes, France, Elise are all injured. When they come back, they all make the bench or start. So from that standpoint, but Geika, that's a great point. At least to bring at least 1 or 2 more bodies would be nice.
And that also means that our bench, our bench gets a little bit stronger too, which is important 100%. As well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring on Cody. Cody, what's up, man?
Hey,
how y'all doing?
Cody,
good,
welcome.
Man. How's it going?
Doing good, man. It's really disappointing, man, just to see how, we held off for so long in the first half and, us just have a heartbreak with the whole penalty we had toward the end there is just kind of heartbreaking, really.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Like we were saying, man, like when you're, whether you're home or away against these top 5, top 6 teams, man, you got to win convincingly because if we give them a window opportunity, these guys are trained and drilled to manufacture goals. And like that was a training ground routine that we saw on that free kick, and they got it together that quickly and end up having the opportunity.
Yeah.
I have a question, by the way. Sorry to cut you off then. Who fell asleep? Because obviously I don't see. I remember the replay. Who was the one that fell asleep on that play? How did he get so open? Do you know? Or was it the pick that made it?
It was the rub. It was the rub.
It was the rub off.
Yeah. He just basically Partey came down and got Doucouré and Lerma tied up, and he just arc released into the box.
Okay.
It's almost like as if they stumbled over each other right there on that rub on it, but.
Yep.
But I mean,
it's interesting because And I'm sorry to cut you off,
Oh,
Cody, but
you're
it's
fine.
interesting because we talk about like set pieces and being ready to go and having your stuff together. Like the way that they did those things, and there's another time when they just got going really, really quickly, and we end up having to give up a foul or things like that. Like they have these intricacies, these tactical awarenesses, these pre-planned plays and things that they do. It's almost like a basketball inbound. They got 5 seconds to get everybody together and execute, and they did it, and that catches us.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, on the other side of it, I mean, I was impressed with definitely Mitchell and Ward. Tying down those wingers was outstanding by them. I mean,
agree.
with Ward, he might not have the pace he used to have, but to be able to tie them down like the way he did, and the great slide tackle he had toward, I think it was in the second half, to prevent a possible goal scoring attempt. I mean, that was great. I was very impressed by Ward on that. And I mean, Mitchell, I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit. I mean, people say that he's just, maybe an average left back for us, but I mean, it seems he's getting better and better every week.
Yeah, I think with him, it's one of those things. I feel like the only reason why people can even think to say that he's average is because he lacks attacking intent and ability. But when it comes to his defending is top quality out there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling Patrick and saying in the chat, actually to Stan too, you could tell that Saka respected him.
Oh yeah,
and respected his defensive 100%. Prowess. Yeah. Like he wasn't just attacking him one-on-one, going crazy. He was really trying to take his time and contemplating things, and I think both of them did a really great job. Like when it comes down to it,
I think he showed the solidity of a few years ago. The first 2 games of this season,
yes,
he has. Like, I'm not getting carried away because there's a long way to go and whatever, but maybe the rest did him good, and he's back on his game. Like you don't know, right?
Yeah, I mean, it almost appeared that he was almost intimidating that whole side. I mean, they would come down that side, but you'd see most of the game they would have to kick it back to the middle just to try to reset because he was locking it down so well.
I don't think they're wingers. I mean, listen, Saka's a quality player. Like, there's no 2 ways about it. But I don't think Martinelli and Saka were like world class today. Like they weren't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, Martinelli had one shot that went outside the stadium, I think, and apart from that, he did nothing. We just we lost the game because we fell asleep. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's just, like I said, if it just wasn't for the goal kick. But I mean, the other thing is, I mean, I think throughout the game, I was watching the midfield the whole time and seeing Arsenal trying to find open, spaces in the midfield. And I mean, it looked like Lerma and Decore, I mean, they had that shut down for most of the game. I think they, other than the 2 left and right backs with Ward and Mitchell, I think they had a great game.
Yeah.
That midfield is it's probably too good for Palace.
I mean,
yeah, it is. It's almost like, something you would see on Man City or Chelsea, some of the higher clubs. And it's just great that we have the opportunity to have 2 great players right there in the midfield, especially with Lerma. I mean, I think you said a couple episodes ago that, he's got the ability of defending, but he can also run it up the pitch when we need him to, to create great chances for us. I mean,
absolutely.
You get a guy at the price we got for him. I mean, it's outstanding that we have him now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things like with the midfield that we have, you never feel like we can't compete with other teams.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think that's essential for us. And I think he was a very key, like, and Patrick says this all the time, like, the key is the complementary relationship between Lerma and Decore.
Yeah.
Just like very similar to the complementary relationship between Gahey and Anderson. Like you have that pairing there. Like at times I felt like with those 2 in that double pivot, we were never really at risk with handling pressure either.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that throughout most of the game. I mean, they are very field savvy or pitch savvy. They know where plays are going. They can read what, players when they're coming down to attack, where to defend at. I mean, they're intellectually sound with the game is what it is. I mean,
Yep.
You know, the
So-
thing
so-
is, with
Go ahead, Patrick. I'm
sorry, the thing with Lerman and Decory is that you're right, they are very complementary. But the thing is, I've seen that I thought that Lerman's passing preseason was very poor, but today he had an 88% passing accuracy. It seems like he's gotten better. He's still very good defensively. He created 2 chances in the match. Decory had 6 passes into the final third. They just play well together. I mean, definitely Decory's a better passer. Lerman's better in the air. But you're absolutely right. What one can't do, the other one can do. And it's just been great. What I'm hoping though, as the season goes on, that it frees up Eze more. Eze has to get more involved as a 10. He's got to be more creative. Doesn't have to defend as much because you got those guys behind it. They're solid. Float to the right, float to the left, float to the center. Get yourself open and create chances for Edouard or whomever. Clearly, Olise not being there has hurt him and not having Zaha. But my point is that if those two are behind you, you can really open yourself up to get forward, and create more chances. So hopefully that happens. So.
Yeah, he's gotta find those holes. He's got to find those holes, play in the half spaces, and really wreak havoc there.
I kind of thought maybe at the beginning of the game. I mean, I know it's Arsenal we're playing and everything, and you know they've got one of the top attacks probably in the league. But you know, early to maybe put on the pressure on them, I was actually sort of surprised that we were. I mean, I know they had possession, but when we did get possession, that we didn't push the entire formation up the field more to create more chances, maybe just in the first half.
I think it's so much of a risk though, Cody, against them. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they'll like, I know that they weren't amazing today, but like if you start playing Ward on the halfway line, they're just going to pop him off. Like they're going to pop 1-2 and like it's 3-0 before you know it. It might.
And Roar doesn't have that recovery speed to
that's true.
What you mean.
Yeah,
I feel what you mean there. So Cody,
however.
Well, I mean, he has good straight line speed. I don't know how quick he is in that situation, and I mean, shoot, I mean, we don't know when the next time he's gonna get on the pitch. I mean, it seems like every time there's an opportunity for a center back to come into the game, recently it's Tompkins instead of him. So who knows about that piece? That's for another
Cody,
show.
He can play right as well.
Before you leave, can you answer this question for Thunder Road, please? Can you see it on the screen?
I'm actually from Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Tennessee, by the way. I was actually gonna say Tennessee. I don't know why.
Nashville or
I'm Murfreesboro, just south of it.
Just south of Nashville. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Right on. Yep. So Cody, before you go, man, last thing. So we talked about how resolute, astute we were with defending on the wings and how well our midfield played. I guess the naturally the other piece that we think about is our attack, but what do you see from us that we need to change or that hopefully we can see some change in moving forward?
Man, I don't know. It's I think what y'all have talked about before on the show, I mean, we definitely need Olise back for sure. I mean, when we get him back, I think it's going to improve tremendously. I don't know, man. I mean, I know there's a lot of guys that are probably going to hate this comment, but Edouard, he's just not for me, man. I think we could possibly find somebody else that can create more chances or help out Eze to get to goal, because it almost seems, even in this game, it seems in second half of games here of late that it's just he kind of just becomes a little lazy with it. I mean, that's just what I see. Okay. But I think we could find maybe a younger guy with more pace, so that way we can get some through balls through. But like I said, even if we don't make a change like that at striker, I just think if we get Olise back and we can get Eze linked up with him quite a bit when he does get back, I think we'll be pretty safe with the whole attacking front.
Okay.
Cody,
fair enough, man.
I think that's a fair comment, but I will say I thought today Edouard's hold-up play was excellent. It's really gotten better the last few games. I agree. I actually think he was very tight at the end. He really ran a lot. He chased down, when they were, tried to press. But so, I don't think you're wrong. I definitely would like to see somebody a little different as a strike alternative. I think he and Mateta are kind of similar, but in different ways. I think I need a quicker, harder working. Again, I think a Che Adams would be a good addition, someone like that. Because anybody else we're trying to get with whatever price range, I'd love to get Balogun. He's never going to play for Arsenal. But that's not realistic. So, but that's a fair point about Edouard. I mean, again, I thought he did a great job of trying to link up the play. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Is there any word on? I know there was some talk about. I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Dennis.
Emmanuel Dennis.
Emmanuel Dennis from
I think he would be a really good pickup. I know he's 25, but
Forest.
I mean,
Forest.
Yeah, from Forest. Yep, that's right. But I've seen the guy play. I mean, he makes chances. He creates them.
Quick as
he's
well.
smart with the ball. Yeah, very quick, which is that pace I was talking about. Maybe to get some through balls through the back line. Where I mean, like I said, Edward's not slow, but he's not fast also. And we all know Matena's, he's a little too big to be moving to be a pacey player, I guess. But
right.
I think somebody like Dennis would be an improvement. Just because, I mean, I know he's quick and the guy can jump too. I mean, I've seen him in games where the guy can jump and head some balls in too. So
he's got a lot of positional versatility. He can play. He can play across the front too.
Yeah. I think Dennis or Kelechi Iheanacho. Like you got to realize, Iheanacho is only 26. City bought him as an 18, 19-year-old, and he's got strength, he's got pace, and he'd add something to us. If we can get either one of them, I'd be pretty pleased.
Yeah. Right on, Cody. We appreciate you joining us, man, and we hope you keep checking in with us, bro.
That's what I
appreciate you. And I'll be watching y'all since I don't know. It's been a while since I've watched y'all, but I'll keep tuning in.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Don't forget.
Yes, sir.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Take care, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Like Patrick said, if you're watching right now, we got over 100 people watching live. Like, comment, subscribe. Where's Thunder Road at? Thunder Road, get in the comments, man. Tell them like you always do, man. We're going to bring in the next guest, and that'll be my man, Dan. Let's see, where's Dan? All right, Dan, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here, mate. And how are you guys doing? Are you okay?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. That was a free hit tonight, and unfortunately, we just couldn't take it, could we? But yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with the work ethic, and the mentality. The fullbacks were outrageously good. Joe Ward doesn't get enough credit for what he does, but since he's become captain, I think it's magically improved his game. Tyreek Mitchell again was steady tonight. Martinelli and Saka, two of the best wingers in the Premier League, hardly got a sniff. You know what I mean? They didn't really get a sniff tonight at all. Again, Lerma and Doucouré, they look brilliant together, but it's the forward line that I'm not thinking of. You know what I mean? We just lack the creativity of Elise and Zaha. Zaha's gone, but we lack it. We just lack it in that final third where teams will have it like an Arsenal, Man City, like De Bruyne, bang straight into Haaland. Then you've got Arsenal, you got Havertz, bang straight, or Odegaard, bang straight into Jesus. What's it going to take to just get that final ball? You know what I mean? It's
Havertz was non-existent today, though. He did he even touch the ball?
Yeah, I know that was just an example. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have.
I'm just saying, I think he was. Yeah, but I think, obviously, it's going to be a while before we get Elise and França on the pitch. So I think it's going to. It could be. I
think they were saying September.
Yeah, it could be a frustrating couple of weeks there, but I do hope that they get a couple more players in as well. Because I think we need someone that knows where the onion bag is.
Yeah, I'm thinking Danny Ings myself. You know what I mean? We've been linked with him for so many seasons now. You know what I mean? I think if he comes in, he'll bag 18 this season.
He didn't do it at West Ham. He's about 2 stone overweight as well, isn't
he? Yeah, I know, but that's a guy that knows what the back of the net is. You know what I mean? And I think he's cheap. But Iheanacho as well. I loved your little comment on that. I think that would be a great addition to the squad. And maybe a left midfield or something, just a creative midfielder, maybe.
So maybe 1 or 2 more moves, would you say then?
Yeah, I would go with 3. I would say 3. We need someone. We need another person, I think, in the midfield to cover the bench. Possibly a loan signing. and then we definitely 100% need a forward, and we need another left winger in. That's what I feel anyway.
Yeah, I mean those are all positions where we could definitely have need. I mean, I know you mentioned left midfield. I mean, could left midfield, left winger. I mean, something that's going to have some creative impetus on what we're trying to do out there for sure.
Yeah, we're just lacking we're just lacking on the creativity side, and like we all the while it just seems to like haunt us because like we got relatively easy fixtures coming up, and you know what I mean, we're missing our best players, you know what I mean, we're missing Elise, you know, and the team all right, the team's okay, you know what I mean, it's not a million miles, from what it should be, but you know, I think maybe this could come back and bite us in the arse a little bit if we're not quick enough with our transfers.
So what did you think of Hamada and Jez Rakzaki getting their chances to come on and play? How do you think they perform?
I love Rakzaki, and I'm all for giving the man a chance. You know, he ripped it up at Cheltenham last season, and I like Hamada as well. I watched a couple of games pre-season. I went to Crawley Town as well, and he was outstanding that game. And you know, I'm all for giving them boys chances. You know what I mean? Hamada's just sat there and warm bench. You know, and I'm all for giving the man a chance, and I'm glad Roy done the sensible thing today and taking players off and giving these players chances. You know what I mean? It was again it was against Arsenal, but I'm all for it. I think Jez is ready.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things. I mean, the reason why I like Jez and want to see him get opportunities, whether it's with us or if it's on a high caliber loan, is because whenever he gets in, I never get the feeling that it's too much for him, or that it's too big for him. Jez.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like the moment, it doesn't seem like the level of play is beyond him. Like I feel like he has a significant role or solid role that he can play for us on that wing and get good time off the bench. I mean, because honestly, we're talking about needing creative help and depth and things. I honestly think he is great depth to have to bring off the bench for wingers. What's up, Patrick? Hold on. What would you say, Patrick?
The next few matches are Brentford away, Wolves home, Villa away, Fulham home. We got to give Rakzaki some minutes in those games. I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
After the deadline is over, but if he stays, he has to play because Elise won't be ready yet. And for me, he's a perfect backup for Elise. He just is. Stick with Ayew back on the other side. Let Ayew and Schlupp fight it out for the other side. Yeah. But Rakzaki has to play on that side because there's no point sending him out. Because if Elise gets injured again, we got to play Ayew and Schlupp all season. It's not going to work. We have to take a chance on Rakzaki this year.
Schlupp is industrious, but you could see today with Rakzaki that he's got something about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, exactly. It was the first time when because I've not watched him before in first team because obviously he hasn't played much, but I see him and I was like, this kid, man, like,
there's something to him.
Play him.
Yeah. There's something. I think the same thing about Hamada too. Like
same. Love him.
When I was watching him in preseason, I was like, man, there's something to him, man. Like, and I used to think the same thing when I was watched him in Bundesliga a little bit. I was like, he moves the ball. He's creative.
I was gonna say that. Did you know the kid they got from Stuttgart? You know who his midfield partner was at Stuttgart? The kid Liverpool. Wow, it was a Hamada.
It was a Hamada. It was a Hamada.
I mean, the kid can play. He needs to get a chance. The kid can play. A Hamada can play.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say
Schlupp doesn't offer much for me. You know,
he does. The one thing that I keep seeing from him is that he
didn't go around the outside. He didn't go around the outside. He didn't beat his man. You know, as soon as Rakzaki come on, what's the first thing he done? Beat his man. Bang.
Is he slow? Is Schlupp slow? Like, he's no pace.
I think right now he's overweight. He looks like he looks like he's just overweight right now. He doesn't especially just compared to last year. he looks a lot heavier. So he doesn't look like he's moving the same. Is what I would think more than anything else.
Either that or he's been just like bench press like every day.
He's on the Nathan Ferguson plan.
Yeah.
Nathan Ferguson blew up, man. That dude got jacked after being hurt, and he still can't stay healthy. But hopefully that changes soon. But Dan, before we let you go, man, looking into the weekend with Brentford, what would you change? What are you hoping for?
I don't know. I'm feeling the draw.
Okay.
But I'm hopeful for a win. We just got to watch in Bremu and Wisa. You know, they've started off really well.
Yeah.
You give him Bremu the ball, the time, and the space, then he's gonna hurt you. As shown last season when he whipped the ball in last minute, and whoever got on the end of it, I think it was
They've never beaten us, mate.
Yeah,
is that right?
They've never beaten us, and we've never beaten them.
Mate. Exactly, all through us.
Huh?
Yeah, they haven't
Nice
got
Ivan.
Ivan
You're right.
Toney.
We've never beaten them. Nice stat. I like that.
Yeah, they haven't got Ivan Toney either. So I think we just need to get at them. But I would really change Slip for Rakazaki and let him have a go.
So and then move Ayew to that left wing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would not be opposed to seeing that. I would not be opposed.
Okay. All right. Barring injury, if that happens, everyone on this show right now, just you three, will get a Palace shirt from me if he starts like Saki on Saturday over Schlupp.
If he starts,
as long as he's not injured, it's never gonna happen. But if he does, I'm gonna get Stan shirt, Dan shirt. All right?
It's never gonna happen.
The third kit, please.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a third
kit
kit
you
for
want,
me.
mate. It's free. Whatever one you want, I'll give you. I don't care. Anyone
Definitely gonna be a third kit for me. Well, Dan, we appreciate it, man. Hope you
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it, man.
You all have the best time. Yeah, take care, lads.
All right, man. Take care. All right, everybody. Hey, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. We're keeping the numbers pretty solid in here. We staying around that 140 mark. Appreciate you all tuning in, man. We're gonna bring in one of our regulars, one of our stat guys, one of the guys that keeps us together, my man Tim.
Am I one of our own? Is that what we got?
Legend.
Yes,
I will take it. I will take it. How are you guys?
Good, man. How's it going, man?
I mean, I think I agree with a lot of the points that have already been made. I think the thing that's it's disappointing, but you guys tell me what you think, but I like this version of Roy. I feel like the man is enjoying being the Palace manager. I think he's getting a little spicy, which I like. I like the substitutions today. I'm disappointed in the result. And I have to say, too, the training ground routine and just I think the naivety was annoying. That was annoying. But there's real fight. So,
I was gonna say I'm gonna leave it up there until you do it.
Okay, there you go. I'm giving you a wave. So I think I'd like to see Roy going for it, and so it'll be disappointing if this was a one-off. So I guess we need to see, right? I mean, this is only game 2, and I agree.
Next week is back to Tompkins for Edouard. And
yeah, that would be. I mean, and that would be frustrating, Stan, for sure. I mean, I agree with you, Patrick. I mean, I would love to get in on that shirt deal, but I think we all know that ain't happening. That ain't happening. I mean, Patrick, you're right.
No, Tim, you're in a deal. If he starts Rakazaki Saturday, you'll get a shirt.
Okay, I don't see it either.
What if he starts Rakazaki and a Hamada?
Oh my lord! Wow.
Home and away shirt.
Holy
wow.
Holy crap!
Wow. We got who's going to make sure that Roy gets this video? Somebody needs to get this to Roy.
Does somebody know a guy? We need somebody clipping kneecaps.
Does anyone know like Matt Woosnam or anyone that like goes to the pre-match press conference and like reads this line out and says there's there's a group of guys on the Back of the Nest fan channel that if you start Naira Hamada and Desmond Raksaki tomorrow, both at the same time, they're getting a home and away shirt each.
There's
it's going to boost the profits in the club shop so the club can buy more players. So please stop.
I mean, hey man,
diplomatic, eloquent way of saying hell the fuck no. Like he'll have beautiful. Like, he is so good with it. He's so eloquent.
He's a gentleman.
He is an absolute gentleman. He's gonna be so eloquent, but just to tell us hell no.
Yeah. But I take some positives. I take some positives from this.
So what do you take from it? What do you take?
Well, the main thing is the midfield looks terrific. I've been waiting to see how good this double pivot can be, and I think it can be very good. I think it can be very, very good. And against some other sides, I think that could be outstanding. I'll be waiting for. I mean, well, we'll talk about Brentford later, but wouldn't it be interesting to see, like, if we would? I don't know if we'd be courageous enough to play a mid block against Brentford, but with the midfield we have. Would we try it? I mean, maybe. I mean, they do have a lot of pace, though, so I'm not sure that we would do that. Yeah. But I think that there is. I feel like there's a lot of options that we have by virtue of the strength of that midfield, and that's very nice to see. Yeah. I mean, good grief, Hamada and Jess. I mean, I think we've got to keep Jess. I don't know how you loan him after that performance. I just don't know how you do it.
Yeah. And he's not, it's not like and the thing about it, when you talk about loaning a young guy in this situation, I think if he has two solid guys ahead of him, then yes, you maybe think about it. But right now, I don't think there's two guys clearly ahead of him, to be completely honest. Like when you had Zaha on that left-hand side and then you had Ayew and Elise, I think we would more traditionally want to play Ayew on that left side. But right now, without having Elise there, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think I see it churning, Patrick.
No, and the thing is, I understand everybody's talking about, he's only done it in League One. Had he never gone out on loan, I would be all for the fact that he's not ready. I really would. But I don't care. He's played men's football. He's not a kid. He's the same age as Eboue. I think he's pretty much the same age. I think he's the same age.
He's the same age as Elise. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's my point. And I know he hasn't done it in the championship yet, but give the kid a chance. You can see, like Stan said, you can see something about the kid. No pass he made to Ayew was brilliant. I didn't read it, but he made it. I mean, he's got it.
Listen,
I'm just sick and tired of
that's real vision,
and we don't give him a chance. Exactly. The kid that chose his academy. Give him a chance. I'm begging you, Roy. Give him a chance. Just let him play. Please.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean, Patrick, on that point, like that pass, that's real vision and creativity, and we have nowhere near enough of that. Which you can't
coach. Which you cannot.
And you can't coach that.
You can't. Like Schlupp has no vision. Do you know what I mean? I'm telling you. I know it's just on left or right-footed actually.
Left.
Jess is left.
He's left-footed. Inverted winger. He's left-footed. Plays on the right side.
But he could play on the left just as well if you asked him to. He could play on the left.
He can, but if you watch him play, I mean, I've seen him play on the left for the 21, but he's honestly just like Olise. I'm not saying the same play, but the same way. Left-footed.
I think he's better with his right leg
than
he is, though.
He's better.
Lads, I'm telling you.
He's better with the right foot than Olise.
Yeah, I think he's better with the right foot than Olise is, to be honest.
He's done enough for me tonight to prove that he should be a regular member of this squad. Yeah. Maybe not starting, maybe coming off the bench.
All right.
He should.
I got a job for you, Stan. So in order to get your shirt and get Jets play, you need to email or text Roy tonight. All right, get on there.
You got his number. Should I email the club? info@cpfc.co.uk.
Email the club shop. And then
guys,
send
wait a minute. Y'all talking about texting Roy Hodgson? Roy Hodgson probably doesn't even look at a cell phone.
Guys, I'm telling you.
Y'all better send Roy Hodgson a fax.
I've not been this excited about a youngster for a very, very long time. Seeing him today, I was like, this kid is the real deal. Like
He's a baller. He is.
Like he can
Like
ball.
I said,
Like he'll
I
make
just
a
like
difference.
the fact. I like the fact that when he steps onto the pitch, the game does not seem like it's too big for him. It doesn't seem like it's too much for him. It doesn't seem like he didn't seem like he was
But you
getting
know
beat
what
up
that
or
is?
bodied.
You know what that is, T? That's just his youth. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're young, there's very little there's nothing holding him back. What you're playing in the Prem, you're either going to do a good job or a bad job. There's no in between, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Mate, trust me, I'm really excited about this kid.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's another thing that if there was a profile of him in the Athletic, that I don't just think it's youth, Stan. The kid is doing prep. He's prepping for international football right now. Like, I think, am I wrong about this? You guys tell me if I'm wrong about this. There's a chance he can play for Nigeria. Is that right?
Ghana.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yep.
And part of his preparation, the kid's learning French. He's learning French right now. And just because he's backing himself, he believes in himself, and he's prepping to go to the next level. So I think the reason it's not too big for him is because he is very much like Elise in that he's cut from the mold of like, I'm going to back myself here. I can do this. I mean, he doesn't come across, I guess, similar to Elise. He doesn't come across as brash or, making a lot of noise, but the man is talented, and he is a man. I get a little more upper body strength in him. And I think he has that ability to unlock defenses there in that final third. I thought that was exciting.
He's been in and around the first team picture for like
3 years now.
Two or
Like
three
2 or 3 years.
seasons now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and I'm actually excited for it, kind of alluding to what you're talking about, Tim, with AFCON. He's not going to play AFCON this year.
No, definitely not.
Which that could mean he gets his opportunities with us when we lose guys
this
like
year.
IU
Absolutely.
and Decore. I mean, Jeff Schlupp is eligible for Ghana, but he's probably not going to get selected. But
no, but you know that IU's going to go, and by that point, Elise will be back, I hope. But I mean, there's got to be room to rotate him in, and I mean, we're gonna have cups. I mean, he can play in those cup games.
Absolutely,
there's going to be opportunities for the kid to show his quality. But I will say, just super quickly, I thought not the same level, but I feel similarly about Ahamada. That's another creative player who, I mean, he's another one. The moment's not too big for him.
No.
He wants to take players on. And that is, I mean, we need more. We need more of that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Tim, that's a great point. I think as far as the more I think about the transfer window, is that if you keep Rexhacki and you keep Ahamada and you play them, you don't need to go out and get that winger and that midfielder. So for me, just go out and get an Emmanuel Dennis, someone who can play across the line. You can play center forward, left, right, and that's perfect. Get that
run the channels, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Run the channel. Or if you want to go crazy and you sell Mateta, bring in someone like a Che Adams or whomever, Nacho, and then go with those two. Because if you get a striker and a player that can play across the middle, you don't need to worry about the wing. Because again, you have Olise. You're gonna get France in at some point, and you're gonna get Olise back. So just get a forward-thinking player, especially now, that can do the three things, and again, or a striker, and we'll be good. Because midfield, Hughes will be back soon. You've got Gyro in.
I can't wait for that, Patrick.
You don't.
I honestly
can't. Another midfielder. So.
I honestly can't wait for Hughes to get back, because I feel like that's a natural rotation. I mean, I love me some Will Hughes. He's not going to start, but I love me some Will Hughes. I want him coming off the bench. I can't wait for that, for him to come back. Maybe I'm wrong. I had been wanting to be a little bit more judicious with whatever budget we had left, But I mean,
Right.
you make some really great points here, Patrick, and Dem was making this point before. Like, if we were to spend 40 million, like, would we? I'm not convinced that I would go in 40 million for Eddie Nketiah, because I'm not sure I would want him. But I mean, if you're going to go in 40 million, and I'm not saying we can do that or would do that, but it's got to be Balogun, doesn't it?
Exactly. Got to be Balogun. Has to be Balogun.
It's got to be Balogun.
Younger, more upside, chomping at the bit to play, because Arteta's frozen him out, clearly frozen him out at Arsenal. So what I've seen out of him, I saw him at the, during the summer playing for USA. Yep. I watched him. Yep. I watched him Reims yesterday because that story was so great. I mean, last season at Reims. I think he's the one. Unfortunately, 40 million probably won't even get him. I don't know why, because he hasn't proven himself anywhere, but we won't get him 40 million because they're going to want 50 million, because
they want 50
if Milan,
million.
Inter Milan's in, or AC Milan's in for him, or whomever, or Marseille, or whoever's in the French league, they're going to want a lot for him. But that's the guy. You get Balogun and get one other player, and get France and Lise back. I'm happy with that squad for the entire season, 100%.
Blitzer was at the game. He never attends games, right?
That's true.
He's there
Don't even say we said in chat. Don't say
he's there to sign the checks. He is. He's there to sign the checks. 50 big ones for Balogun, and loan fee for your man Dean Henderson.
Do you know what? That's a great point. I forgot about it. We also need a goalkeeper. You're right. We need to get a loan in. That's an excellent point. Henderson would be a good loan with an option to buy. I forgot about Henderson.
You think he'd come to be number 2 though? He's an arrogant job.
I don't.
He's really arrogant.
Wait a minute. You're funny. In the chat, you claim that he's coming. Now you're saying in front of everybody else that why would he come? You said in the chat he's coming.
No, I think he's coming. I do think. I think he's coming.
Everybody, okay. Oh, okay. Let me make sure. Because you don't backtrack. Because if he doesn't come, I'm gonna
no, dude. That one. I think he's coming, but I can't see.
Wait, don't call me dude. Don't like that. Don't call me dude.
All right, dude. Patrick, I think he's coming.
I mean, I think there's some legitimacy to some of these links possibly, but I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because I saw one thing talking about the fact that they think it might be the fact because he's buddies with Sam Johnstone, like he might be okay with coming in. Right. It's like, why would I care about that? I'm a professional. Like, I'm trying to play. Like, why would I care about that? But maybe, who knows, man? But
you know what he is actually? He's an Adam Sells goalkeeper. So Sells goalkeeper product, and Adam Sells is obviously very close to Palace.
Yeah.
And I think I think he manages a few players as well. I don't know if he's his agent or not, but I think so he's maybe trying to get him in there. I don't know, man. Like Dean Henderson had ambitions to be England number 1 a couple of years ago. So what do I know, eh?
What does any of us know? I mean, come on.
Well, Tim, I mean, before I let you go, looking ahead to the weekend, man, what are your hopes? What do you hope? What are you looking for? What changes would you make?
I don't know that you can make a lot of changes, T. I as much as I would really love to see Jess starting, and I would be really interested in seeing IU move over to the left and Jess start on the right. I'd love to see it.
Jeff on the right, he's left-footed. I don't think he's ever used his right foot in his life.
No, I said Jeff. I should have said Jess.
He was saying Jordan on the left and Jez coming in on the right.
Oh, okay.
Right. Sorry about that.
I love that.
I mean, I love that idea. I don't know that is going to happen. I think that's more wishful thinking on my part, to be perfectly honest. But I would love to see it, and I'm liking this version of Roy. I think Roy is enjoying the football that he's seeing produced on the pitch. I think he's excited about this team. I think he is going to hold Steve and Dougie to their promise to get more players in, as well he should. I mean, if I could get a Spicy Roy t-shirt, I'm in, man. I want more Spicy Roy. I like it. I think this is a team with some promise, and I would love to see a striker. I'm not sure what we're going to get, I'm not sure that I believe Nyanto rumors, but I think we have
I
the
don't want him.
capability.
I don't want Nyanto.
What rumors that came out today?
Nyanto?
Nyanto? Yeah, I didn't hear that one.
He's going
No,
out.
I mean there's nothing new, but he's just
okay.
on the outs with
Nothing new,
Leeds.
nothing
he's-
fresh.
and,
Yeah.
and, yeah, and he's
transfer
been
request. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been linked with us, but I'm not sure that even makes a lot of sense. So I don't know who else we go for. The one I do think we can go for 3 points at Brentford. I'm not sure we get it, but I think
agree
we
with
have
that.
the capability to go for it, and I would like to
I
see
agree.
us go for it. And then I love Wardy, and I thought the setup today was brilliant with Wardy. I thought he was careful and brilliant in doing so, because that helped put the wingers on lockdown. I mean, he wasn't too adventurous, which was great. Wardy knows who he is, and I thought he played it absolutely brilliantly. But I do think if we get a pacey right back who can get forward the way that Mitchell has been, and Mitchell has been improving, and I'm loving it. If we can get that at right back, boy, holy smokes, that is going to change things for this club.
Spence.
We were linked with someone today, some fella in France, can't remember his name.
Jordan Latamba.
I have a question for Patrick.
From Nice.
Is that Alan Nixon?
It's not Alan Nixon. I have a question.
Probably credible. It's probably credible then. Got to be credible if it's not him.
So I agree with Tim. I want Schlupp out, Rak-Saki in, because I'll be a shirt up, and I'm actually going to. No. Listen, because you might laugh a bit more. Because I'm actually gonna.
That's for a shirt. No,
I'm actually gonna hold off my shirt purchase, which I was gonna make this evening, until Sunday, just in case.
Oh, definitely hold off. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, would you mind adding express shipping, because I'm going to the Fulham game when I'm
Or
nice. That might be difficult.
Just make it club. Just make
no,
it
look,
club store pickup.
in the mouth.
Pickup, man. You can pick it up the day of the game, man.
But Stan,
Club
there's one
shop
caveat
pickup.
for your. There's one caveat for yours. You're getting Mateta on the back of yours.
No name.
No Mateta.
No name.
Oh man,
you love him.
Gotta get Mateta.
I'm putting Roy on the back of Tim's shirt.
there you go. I'll take it. Spicy Roy.
I'll take if I can get a shirt. I'm taking Lewington on the back of mine. You hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of letters, man. That's too many letters, man. Too many letters.
Oh, there's D.
Yeah.
How's it going?
All
Tim?
right,
How's it
Tim.
going,
We
Tim? All right?
appreciate you joining us, man. D's about to
Tim,
pop
thanks
in.
a lot,
I'm
man.
about to pop off. We appreciate it, man. Thanks,
Hey,
Tim.
great to see all
Take
you
care, Tim.
guys.
Thank you, man.
Up the
All right,
palace.
man. Great job
to
hosting.
see you.
Up the Palace.
Take care.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Take care,
Y'all
T.
be easy.
See you later, T, as well. All right. I've lost my voice, which is not going to help. What's going on? What is going on? How you lot doing? I've been listening to the show. I've been doing stuff behind the scenes. But yeah, look, let's get the guests on, and then we'll wrap it up sooner rather than later. It's been going over an hour, but great show so far. As always, thank you to everyone sending in their comments and also joining us live. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to send a like and subscribe. Let's bring on Nick. Nick, how you doing?
You're sounding all husky like Susan George there. It's quite sexy.
I don't know if
First things first.
but yeah.
Great being in the Homestyle after all these years in Block J, the family stand. What a totally different atmosphere in there. It was good to see you again, D. And for those of you who've only seen it on telly or watching overseas, if you can get over and get in the Homestyle for a game, it's just fucking amazing in there. So that's good. I was a bit frustrated today by the ref. I don't think the Arsenal player should have got sent off for a second yellow card. I think that was a bit weak, but I think Partey should have gone because he was already on a yellow and he gave away a penalty. And I'm convinced that Sky already at this part of the season are controlling VAR because they want a close run title. It was definitely a penalty on Eze.
Nick, sorry to cut you off. Brighton's giving the title, running away, so don't worry about it being close.
Sorry?
Brighton's going to win the title running away, so don't worry about it being close. They're going to run away the title Brighton this season, so don't worry about it being close.
All right, okay. Positives today. I don't think we had a bad player today. Schlupp played very well in the first half. I think Stan, you're suffering a little bit from we've got to have an scapegoat. We don't anymore. We've got a good team. Tim was right in what he said. He likes the new Roy. I like the fact that we went free at the back, brought Raksaki on. Lerma and Decor are just different gravy. Gay and Anderson, different gravy at the back as well again this season. Arsenal only had chances when we made slight mistakes. Raksaki was very, very impressive when he came on. I've got a question for you, Free. I watched the difference between the two teams, and we know Arsenal are a title contending team. Every time they got the ball, they had 2, 3, even 4 players running off the ball, looking for space, looking for somebody to pass to. And in some ways, a little bit like the Spanish women's team were able to play the ball out from the back because there was always somewhere for them to pass to. Whereas we seem to be more intent on keeping our shape. Maybe a bit too much playing the ball through the middle. I think Eze could have done with being a bit more central, maybe would have got a few more shots on target. He wasn't at his best, in my opinion, today. I'm really excited about França coming in, if he's as good as the YouTube videos. And when Elise comes back, I'm really excited about that because we will have more players that take players on. Ayew played very well, but there was one moment in the first half, I think it was, where he was running at players and he looked like he was going to get into a really good position. And then he stopped, turned around and went back the other way. Now, my question to you three, and the YouTube audience, if they want to answer as well, is how would Palace play if we had a manager like Arteta? Because I don't think there's much difference in the fitness of the players in the two teams. There might be a difference in the technical ability between the players because obviously they're a higher grade. But could we play differently? Could we be more energetic? Or is it keeping the shape too much? Like I said, it's worked apart from the silly penalty, which I haven't seen a replay of. Some people say it was. Some people say that there was a foul before. What do you think? I mean, what would Arsenal look like under Roy, and what would Palace look like under Arteta?
I don't know what Arsenal will look like under Roy. That's a question that I don't know if Arsenal fans even want to see answered. But in terms of can we play like that under Arteta, in a way, we saw it under Vieira, that possession style football, that attacking style football. So yes, in theory, if Palace want to turn up, we can, but not on the same level because Arsenal have much better players than us. And I think Arteta is a very good coach. And to coach those players like he has done, it'll be a hard job. But I wanted to ask you a question about Eze because we have talked about Eze. We talked about creativity.
No, I want to answer Nick's question first.
Okay, go ahead.
Nick's question, do you mind? Yeah.
Great.
So Nick, it's an interesting question. Like no one wants to see them switch managers. Stan and I were going back and forth in the chat privately on WhatsApp. My issue today was that we gave them the ball way too much in the first half. But I understand the tactic. I just don't like it at home. My only issue, so I think Roy actually got the tactic spot on. But once they go down to 10 men, you have to be more aggressive. He waited too long. We had the man advantage of 30 minutes if you include extra injury time. And we didn't go aggressive until he took off Ward and brought on Hamada, or I guess that was Saki actually, or whichever one it was. And that was like 10 minutes for me too late. But I think at home, I don't care if they're Arsenal. I don't care. You don't have to give them so much possession. At one point, it was 90% to 81% to Arsenal, which is ridiculous. We're at home. But having said that, no, wait. You listen to me. I just said it worked. You don't listen. Stop interrupting me. Let me finish. I said it worked, my friend. My point is, though, with this team, without Elise and without a player like França, you really can't play any more aggressive. I think 90% I don't care what you say, is not good enough at home. But I will say, of course it worked up to 54 minutes with the City penalty. So, again, I just think that I'd like to see it be more aggressive when we're up a man. But at 11v11, we did the best we could possibly do, honestly. Now you can jump in and kill me, D. Go ahead.
So back to Nick's question again. I think what you're going to see in the first couple of games until we get some of these attacking players back is I think you're going to see a good Palace side, but just very, very solid, very, very organised and grinding out results. I think that is what we're going to see realistically. And when Elise comes back, you get França in, maybe we get one or two in before the end of the transfer window. I think he might sort of let the handbrake off a little bit. How would this Palace team play under Arteta? I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know, man. I think it would be
better. I think we'll play better, but it's exactly hard to answer how it would how exactly it would be under Arteta. But look, I mean, today, I'll be honest, I haven't given my reaction to the game. It was down to quality today. Down to quality. If you had Elise and França today, I think it's a different game. You have to remember Patrick. I know you talked about the first half. I know you talked about their possession, but there were times that we hit them on the counter. But the problem was we just didn't have the quality. There were spaces in behind on the counter. Yes, we didn't do it often, but when we did do it, the plays that we had on the pitch was simply not good enough. Now, add Wilf to that scenario. For example, if we had, Wilf still in the squad, or if we had Elise there, I think we would have been more dangerous on the counter. I think we would have caused Arsenal more headaches. So I think today, the end result of today, even when you're talking about options coming off the bench, Jez was great. Ahmada was also very positive as well coming off the bench, and we needed those type of players. But this squad is lacking depth, one, and it's lacking quality in the starting 11 as a front three. I mean, we didn't see that against Sheffield United to an extent because it was Sheffield United and they are very poor. They are one of those sides that everyone expects for them to go down. But when it comes against Arsenal, that was my biggest fear. Today, I had no issue with the defense or the midfield. I thought the midfield was stronger, is how it performed, how I expected it to perform. But what it came down to is when you hit them on the counter-attack, when you observe all that pressure, who can be responsible? Who's that creative player to take control? Today, Eze was meant to be that creative player. But the problem is, on the counter, he wasn't involved as much. And when we did have possession, it was so easy to target Eze because we didn't have any other creative options on the pitch. So I think this talent or the squad today basically lacked the talent. And I'm not blaming any players. I think all the players put their greatest effort in. But it came down to just a lack of creativity, lack of talent on the pitch. If Eze had the likes of Elise on the pitch where he can do 1-2, that causes Arsenal more problems. But today, it was a case of even when they had 10 men, how can we stop Eze? And as soon as they stop Eze, it's all fine. It works out.
Which is why Roy brought Rak-Saki on, because Rak-Saki's capable of that, I think. It's just that we weren't getting the ball out to him enough. It was still going out to the other side, and it was ending up with our fullback, who with the best will in the world, he played well and he's getting better. I can't believe he's 24 now. But the balls weren't coming in, and when the balls were coming in, we had Edouard, who had a brilliant chance for a header, but he just glanced off his head rather than getting a firm glance on it. Now, when you the last half hour or maybe last 20 minutes, it was like a training session where you're playing attack versus defence, and Arsenal were just booting the ball clear, and then we were bringing it back. So fair play to Roy for going through at the back for us to do that. But we should have been getting balls into the box. So in whipping it in, whether it's low, high or whatever, so it could come off anybody and cause chaos in that defence. But we didn't seem to have anybody who get onto the end of the ball. Now, we've seen that Edouard can get onto the end of the ball like he did against Sheffield United when I put that perfect ball in for him.
So,
it just
Nick,
didn't seem to be happening.
Just quickly, I think, you know what, Roy Hodgson, I don't know if anyone's read his post-match comments. He has actually said, what's it called? I think it tells us the direction we need to get to. We need a little bit more help in terms of the forward area. So he said it again, but we are working on that. Okay, so obviously the club's trying to work on bringing someone in, etc., etc.
That's good news.
I take a point about Eze. Okay, this is what I think he did wrong today, and I've thought about this for this entire broadcast, and I remembered watching a program about Robert Lewandowski when he talks to the midfielders that support him, or the forward players, because he's obviously an out-and-out number 9. You know what Eze could have done? He could have made himself a little bit more space. I think he didn't drift out enough or drift into an area that he could have done something enough. And that's not tactics. Or maybe it is like maybe Roy's told him just stay there and do this and this. But Eze should have come in. He could have come short. He could have got it back, and he can beat his man as well. So that's what I think he could have probably done better. Yeah, he was obviously play as soon as he got the ball, there was 1 or 2 or 3 hustling him, whatever. But I don't think he made the space for himself like he normally does, or maybe against lesser teams like he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Nick, before I go ahead.
So just one more thing. So I take what all you were saying, and I get that. So again, the match only ended an hour and a half ago, so I'm still very frustrated that with fact. I'm not going to respect Arsenal at home. I'm not doing that. I know everybody wants to go on that thing. I do get the fact that yes, you played well. I just want to see a mindset change, but I totally agree with all of you. There's a serious lack of quality that we have on the pitch that we have to address, and we can't address it now because 2 are injured. 1 might be coming through the door at some point. 1 might be on the bench in Max Saki that hopefully Roy will start using. I get what you guys are saying. I'm just going to say that I don't think we as a club will ever progress if we always think that this is a free hit, can't be Arsenal at home. We can't think that way. We can't. We got to get. I just cannot. I'm not going with that mentality ever again. Okay, maybe Man City, who won the treble last year, I'll do that too. I'm not doing that for Arsenal. I don't care if Arsenal finished 2nd place last year. I'm sorry. We're at home. We were up 10 men, 30 minutes. I didn't say win the game, by the way. Just get a point. I'm not saying we should have won the game.
But it was a mistake that cost us, Patrick. The tactics were working. Tactics were working.
Nick, does he listen to me? Did I mention anything about the tactics being wrong? I'm just saying. I just said the mindset that I didn't say the tactics were wrong. The tactics were fine. I just said that the mindset of us saying, "Oh, it was Arsenal and 1-0 is." I'm not going with that 1-0 we should have lost is okay mentality. I didn't say tactics. I've said, and I'll say it again so everybody in the chat can hear me. Roy tactics were fine. I didn't like sitting on the ball, but I understood why we did it. But I'm saying at a man up, you've got to find a way to get the point. That's all I'm saying. We're not playing Barcelona. Yeah, Arsenal are very good. I'm making fun of it, and of course they're a good side. But at home, find a way is all I'm saying. I'm not saying, but again, I do understand. No Elise, no França, dare I say, no Wilf, and of course, as they not been on the game, it is what it is. But I'm just saying that I'm not going to come on here and keep saying, oh, that was a good, 1-0 loss at home. I'm not doing that anymore because we need to get past that mindset. Not we. I'm getting past that mindset because if that mindset continues, we don't progress as a club. That's all I'm trying to say. But I get it.
Yeah,
trust me. I'm not arguing with anybody. I do get it.
Yeah, and today we nearly got the job done. It was fine margins. And considering how good Arsenal were when they faced us last season in the season opener, I thought with a squad that you can make the argument that's slightly weaker than what we had at the start of last season in terms of attackers, anyways, in terms of forwards. We've done a relatively good job. We had a few counters. Maybe when they had 10 men, maybe we could have had more shots. That was the only downside. But, even that was a positive because even in the past, we saw it under Roy where we have 10 men and we barely, do anything. And in fact, we get worse with 10 men. But today, we showed intent. And also today, Roy changed a few things, even in my idea. The fact that he brought on Raksaki for Joe Ward, I thought that was a bit bold by what we've seen in the past under Roy. Ahmada coming on. Roy tried to go for it. He put everyone out there, and it just simply didn't work in terms of getting that goal. And you have to give credit to Arsenal for that as well, because defensively they were very solid in shape, and they put more defenders as we reached towards the end of the game.
I think what else shows us. Sorry, Patrick. What else shows that? What shows how well we did?
Gotcha.
See you later.
Nice. Cheers.
All right, take care.
I need to jump off soon as well, Patrick, so I'll let you say it after me. Sorry, mate. The fact that Arsenal was celebrating the ball going out for a goal kick like they'd won a penalty towards the end shows how well we were playing, how under the cosh they were. But yeah, we do need that finisher. But as for the transfer window, we've still got 10 days to go. I think there'll be somebody left field coming that we haven't even thought about, because we know what Doug is like for pulling these players out of the bag. I can't tell you who it is because it'll be left field.
Yeah, well, Parish.
What are you left fielder for?
Left field, I don't know. Parish just did say last week that we're looking at 1 or 2 more potential signings for this week that they're going to try. So we'll see what happens. I think this game confirms it as well. And Roy said it as well, that we're working on it. So we just have to be patient. Look, today, I'm just upset. I'm more frustrated. The fact that we lost how we did, that lack of concentration, it happened so quick. it makes you think, if we didn't have that, moment of just losing our heads, could we have got a point? There was a very good chance, because I thought, the second half, going to halftime 0-0, second half, don't concede in the first 15 minutes, the spaces are going to open up. Arsenal are going to push you more. Then there'll be more opportunities on the counter. But it's that one mistake, and then mistakes cost you. We say it's a cliche. We say it every single time. You have to be, switched on for 90 minutes, because against these top teams, they will punish you if you give them one opportunity. And that's what happened. But then again, we're coming on here, and we're not saying it's the end of the world. We're saying how if we had Elise, which is a very important player, a player that had double-digit assists for us last season that we didn't have in this game. If we had maybe França, which we don't know about yet, but he's meant to be this Zaha replacement, maybe the game could have went a bit differently, especially when we did have the ball on the counter in the first half. Maybe we would have caused Arsenal a bit more problems. But these are ifs and buts. We'll face Arsenal again. We'll most likely have those players and maybe one or two more new signings when we face them again. And we'll see how we do. But we can't say, it's all over. 1-0 against Arsenal was disappointing. But, it wasn't that bad as well. It wasn't that bad. There were still positives that I saw from this game. Now it's going to be a bigger test. We've got Brentford away from home, and they are solid side even without Tony, because they're well coached. They're well. They do very well in the recruitment stage as well. So it's not going to be any easier even without Tony. And I think that's going to be the real test. And hopefully Roy changes about. But look, Nick.
Wait, I want to add one thing before Nick goes. I just want to say, seriously, I'm not trying to be funny. I thought that Sagif Award sub is the best sub Roy's ever made at Palace. I'm not trying to be funny either. No, second best.
I know what you mean.
No, I'm being serious. Second best was second, because the Mateta sub they brought on to win the Leicester game was the best sub, because obviously he won that game, his first game back. I'm being serious, man. Putting faith in a young kid means a lot. I think got the crowd up. I think it gave the kid himself some confidence. No, I'm being serious, man. He doesn't make the kind of sub. We know he doesn't. It was a great sub. It was a great sub.
Yeah, it was a bold. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like a bold move. It's a move that we don't tend to expect on the Roy, especially when you're facing the game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Take off a right back and put another forward. It's the basics, you would think, but at times Roy likes to be a bit more conservative. But look, that's the thing. We've seen one or two different things with Roy this time around than we saw him when his last time around. His passion, he's up for it. He seems excited. And that one little move, we'll see. We'll see if Jess gets more opportunities. But Nick, just quickly before you go, Brentford, are you hoping for draw, win? What's your thoughts going into that game?
Based on the first two games of the season and how we've played, I'm a lot more positive about this season than I was before the season started. And no Patrick will rile me, because I said we could possibly finish ninth.
How is that?
Yeah, no, and I still think we're going to be ninth. Okay, don't rile me like don't rib me like that. I'll get you back on Wednesday, man, when we do the preview pod. Brentford, they could be there for the taking. I'm a lot more positive about it. It was a last minute equaliser where we switched off. As you said earlier, D, it's the switching off that's doing us, because without the switching off against Brentford last season, we could have won it. So it's keeping on the game. We're not letting him we don't seem to be letting in the last minute goals like we did. Roy seems to be let the shackles off a bit, whether it's because he's just on a 1 season contract and he knows this is it for him. I don't know. Bringing on the youth, absolutely fantastic, because that is so unlike him. So yeah, I'm going to be positive about Brentford, but you can hear more about my thoughts when we do the preview pod. So tune into that.
100% preview pod with Patrick, Nick, and there may be one more person. It depends on who's fit, who's available, because we might have an injury crisis back within us as well. But last week I listened to the preview pod. It was good with you two, but yeah, as you saw, last minute people pulled out. But yeah, that'll be out in your usual podcast platforms. But look, Nick, really appreciate.
It was great. It was good. Nick was great on the preview.
I haven't got a voice.
It's just a shame. Just a shame the Elise news came in after we slated everybody.
That's what it's like.
Caught a lot of people out there, did.
Well, look, Nick, really appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll catch up with you.
And it was good to see you today, man, in real life.
Good to see you as well. See you later, Nick.
Take care, Nick. See you Wednesday.
Okay, that's it for tonight. As always, if you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And also, before you go, player ratings. We're going to record that. That should be an interesting discussion, talking about those individual performances from the game. But look, people, if I had a voice, I'll talk about the game a bit more, but I just don't have a voice and I don't know where it went. I didn't even shout like that. Maybe I did towards the ref. But look, disappointing defeat. This depends on how you want to word it. Look, we move on. Brentford is going to be a big test. They're missing a key player. Hopefully, we can bounce back from this game. But as always, if you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank to every single one of you who's joined us live and called into the show, left in your comments as well. Sorry if we couldn't read out your comments. It was quite of a busy show, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow for the player ratings. That's when it'll be posted, and also the opposition previews coming out already. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to Norman Sal on future Palace content. That's it from me and Patrick for now, and until next time, up the Palace.